CBS News Bay Area Afternoon Edition with Makovec.
Right now at noon, we are following a developing story. 5 soldiers shot at an Army base in Georgia. The alleged gunman taken into custody shortly after. Thanks for joining us this Wednesday. The mass shooting forced a lockdown at Fort Stewart. It is the largest Army post east of the Mississippi River. It is located about 40 miles southwest of Savannah and is home to thousands of soldiers assigned to the Army's 3rd Infantry Division and their family members. Here's what we know right now. A shooter opened fire just before 11 a.m. Georgia time, 8 a.m. our time. 5 soldiers were injured. They were taken to an Army hospital. We don't know their condition right now. The fort was locked down, and eventually that suspect was taken into custody about a half an hour later. Officials now say there is no active threat to the community, but a lot of unknowns here. CBS News correspondent Chanel Call shows us some of the chaotic moments on the base after the gunfire.
We do have some new video from Citizens app inside Fort Stewart where we can apparently see the soldiers walking through. This will be the first time I'm also seeing this video. Take a look and just see what this looked like for them inside the base as these obviously chaotic moments were playing out when they found out they were in lockdown. So again, a short 10-second video here just showing a little bit of what it was like inside the base during that moment in time.
The lockdown was lifted after about an hour. 3 schools outside of the base were also impacted. CBS reporter Madeline Bierster describes the heavy law enforcement presence on the ground.
We have a military person just posted up with a gun on top of that car. We know the suspect, though, has been arrested, but I think this is all just a precaution at this point. They're just making sure the facility stays secure.
Well, the Army is investigating, but at this point, we do not know the identity of the shooter nor any information about a motive in this case. This shooting happened in the area of the 2nd Armored Brigade Combat Team and is recognized as the Army's most modernized and lethal unit. President Trump has been briefed on the shooting. Back here in the Bay Area, these 2 women are in jail accused in the stabbing death of a man outside of a bar in San Jose. Mercedes Rosales and Michaela Van were arrested yesterday. The stabbing happened on July 20th in downtown San Jose on South 2nd Street. Officers found a 22-year-old man who had been stabbed at least once. He was taken to the hospital where he later died. The killer fled the scene before police arrived. But detectives said during their investigation, the community helped them identify both women as primary suspects.
Our community came forward, they stepped up, they provided digital evidence that was crucial and critical in identifying suspect Van and suspect Rosales.
Police are not saying anything about a motive at this point. A lot of questions there, but evidence shows that some sort of physical fight happened that night before the stabbing. Rosales was booked for murder and Van as an accessory to murder. The CHP investigating a deadly crash that shut down part of Highway 13 this morning in the East Bay. A vehicle crashed into a tree and then caught fire at around 3 a.m. Lanes were shut down for several hours. Those lanes have since reopened. This huge wildfire continues to burn in San Luis Obispo and Santa Barbara counties. The Gifford fire, as it's called, has grown to more than 3 times the size of San Francisco. It is only 9% contained. More than 1,200 homes and other buildings are threatened, with evacuation orders still in place. Firefighters were able to stop the fire's north-forward progress. Marin County Fire, meantime, has deployed almost 40 firefighters to help fight that huge fire, including bulldozer strike teams as they try to gain ground there. The division chief is warning the Bay Area to be prepared.
It's just really a tell that we are in fire season. It just doesn't feel like it right now. And we've had a very mild season, but we've had some very damaging fires in Northern California. It's only a matter of time till fire comes to the Bay Area, so we need to be prepared.
Well, the strike team going down consists of 2 bulldozers and 2 support units to help with 24-hour operations. All right, on a more positive note, another gorgeous summer afternoon here in the Bay Area this Wednesday. Our inland spot's going to be feeling that heat. Let's check in with meteorologist Jessica Birch.
That sigh that you just gave, Ann, is exactly what I needed to head into this forecast. It is a lot more mild for us here, but it's a warm one today throughout the Bay Area. We are gearing up for some upper 90s as our extremes over into places like Antioch. On the opposite end of that spectrum, some of our cooler climates are warming into the upper 60s today. So Half Moon Bay, about 5 degrees warmer than we were just at yesterday. Same thing with San Francisco, topping off at 72 this afternoon, sunny skies. It is expected to be a beautiful day just in the city. A little bit breezier, of course, with that onshore wind kicking up to around 25, 30 miles per hour at times. But you make your way off into our inland areas, we'll also notice that breeze. But if anything, it'll be kind of nice, especially with how warm it is out there right now. It is going to be nice, however, then we also have to factor relative humidity in. With it being low right now, some strong winds at times, and then warm temperatures, those are all key ingredients for fire weather conditions. So we're going to keep a close eye on that as this area of high pressure continues to build its way in this afternoon, warming us up and drying us up. Tomorrow we'll get a little bit of a relief as low pressure comes in, cooling us off a bit for Thursday, and then we're back up to above average heading into Friday. I'll have that coming up in just a bit.
Thanks, Jess. President Trump making himself the head honcho of the 2028 Olympics. The games are going to be in Los Angeles in 3 years, and he is making plans. He signed an executive order yesterday creating a new task force to oversee planning and security for the games, and he named himself chair, which no other U.S. president has done before. The task force is also going to help streamline visa processing and credentialing for athletes, coaches, media, and other visitors coming into the U.S. Political experts weighing in on the president getting directly involved.
This is going to be an international story. It's going to last for a long time, so he can't resist being part of it. And it involves Los Angeles, which increases its attraction to him because he's very much opposed to the current government in Los Angeles. So this is all far from over. Expect he's going to have a lot to say for a long time to come.
Yeah, as he referred to, this comes at a tense time between President Trump and local officials in L.A. who criticized his deployment of the National Guard to respond to immigration protests. The president said he would send the military back to L.A. to protect the games if needed. And later this afternoon, President Trump and Apple expected to announce a major boost to manufacturing in the U.S. Apple is set to invest $100 billion to expand its operations. That adds the tech giant's previous $500 billion commitment to grow its domestic footprint. The Trump administration has made a push for Apple and other tech companies to produce more of their products here in the U.S. Trump also accusing India of fueling Russia's war machine and imposing his first secondary sanction. Earlier today, he signed an executive order imposing an additional 25% tariff on top of the administration's previous 25% tariff on Indian imports. The White House calls it a necessary and appropriate punishment for India's imports of Russian oil. Still ahead here at noon and streaming on CBS News Bay Area. City workers in Nevada on strike for a second day after contract negotiations stalled. Like they say the residents support them. And students going back to school today in several Bay Area districts. Ready or not, we're going to talk to some excited youngsters and their families coming up after the break. Let's take another live look outside, though, before we head to break. Gorgeous shot of the Transamerica Tower. We'll be right back. City workers in Nevada are now on day 2 of their strike for better pay, and they say the people of Nevada are backing them. Voters approved Measure M back in November, raising the sales tax to support everyday services in the city. The city says it's honoring the promise by offering 11% raises over 3 years for all SEIU employees, and workers argue it is not enough.
We're burnt, and we're doing the best we can. The biggest problem is our staffing is less than it was in 2006. The streets crew specifically was over 14, and the street crew right now we're 7, and 4 of us are the ones doing the potholes.
The union says the voters were clear about what they wanted with the Measure M money and how it should be spent, and in this case, it was to support the workers. City claims it's unaware of the strike and has not announced when workers will be back. It is that time of year when students are heading back to school, like it or not. Castro Valley Unified School District celebrating its first day of class today. We stopped by Castro Valley Elementary this morning where kids and parents were bustling out front. Our photojournalist spoke to a few people who said summer flew by.
What do you think, Athena?
Too short.
It was
Too short?
I feel that it's a lot shorter now than it was when I went to school.
That's for sure.
I think they're only doing 2 months now when we used to get 3.
Castro Valley students aren't the only ones going back to school today, of course. So our kids from Mount Diablo Unified, New Haven Unified, Antioch Unified, and Brentwood Union. Happy first day to everyone who's out there hitting it. Back to our first alert weather. It is still feeling like summer around the Bay Area, even though back to school season is apparently upon us. Here's the meteorologist, Jessica Birch.
Crazy. It's already back to school. And actually, it's a great thing because in the morning forecast, I'm so used to saying, all right, when we're heading off to school and work, and now that summer is actually coming to an end, that phrase can come back. As we're all heading off to school and work in the morning hours, it's cool, it's cloudy, but those clouds pull back along on the coast as we head into the afternoon hours. And this afternoon specifically is actually one of the warmest days we've seen all week. And honestly, within the past couple weeks, when you take a look at numbers like Antioch at 97 degrees, 92 all the way up into Santa Rosa, and yeah, we're seeing 90s down into the Santa Clara Valley too, near Los Gatos this afternoon. 80s into the Santa Clara Valley, just at the floor level. Now, we were talking about this earlier, but what's happening right now is high pressure is building its way in. So it's warming us up this afternoon. Some low pressure from the north will cool us off a little bit for Thursday, but then we warm right back up as we head into our Friday forecast. I'll show you the 7-day forecast in just a second, and you'll see exactly what I mean. Upper 90s today, low 90s tomorrow, back into the upper 90s for places like Antioch, for example. But as we head into the next 6 to 10 days, the National Weather Service and the Climate Prediction Center, we all agree. I mean, we are continuing to see high pressure really impact our local communities when it comes to daytime highs above average. And that's exactly what we're seeing already. I mean, take a look at our inland forecast behind me. I'm going to pull up the tubes real fast so you could see sunny skies each day. On top of that, warm weather lasting into this weekend's forecast. And then low pressure starts moving its way in as we head into this weekend and next week, I should say. And suddenly from Monday into Tuesday, we're right back down to low 80s, which is a big contrast compared to the upper 90s that we're going to see this Friday. And I mean, even today too, right? So let's head over into the Bay. Places like San Francisco and across that beautiful Bay Bridge you see behind me over in Oakland, we're seeing 70s today. It is the day to head out to the local parks, enjoy the weather. It will be a little bit breezier. Wind gusts today at max could top off around 20, 25 miles per hour in San Francisco. A little bit lighter in our inland areas today, up to around 20 mile per hour wind speeds, expected to places like Napa, off into the East Bay and into the Santa Clara Valley. We'll keep you updated on that. For now, back to you.
Thanks, Jess. Well, Santa Clara, of course, has been the 49ers' full-time home since 2014. One member of the team spent his summer in San Francisco to prepare for the upcoming season. Vern Glenn explains in our Red and Gold report.
This is the Audi Red and Gold report.
The Denver Broncos come to town for a joint practice on Thursday ahead of Saturday's preseason game. Right tackle Colton Makovec says he's in the best shape of his career after spending the offseason running the hills of San Francisco. Makovec went up and down Vallejo Street, just like our own Matt Lively and Lorenzo Neal attempted to do last summer.
They just kind of wave, and then they're like, you know, can I run with you? And sure enough, like 50-year-old guy comes running, and a couple other marathon runners with us, so they sprint up the hill, and I tried chasing after them, but super polite, and they kind of give you a weird stare, but you're dodging Waymos and bikes, but it's just a cool place to work, and I think I was up there 4 to 5 times a week.
With the Red and Gold report, I'm Vern Glenn.
And we are less than 3 days away from the Niners facing the Broncos' preseason debut at Levi Stadium. You can watch that game right here on KPIX Saturday at 5:30. Coming up, the lockdown made it tough for a lot of Gen Z kids to learn some crucial skills. Well, we're going to meet a woman who has made it her mission to help prepare them for the business world. Well, Gen Z almost makes up 1/5 of the U.S. labor force, and that number is only growing. But after years of lockdowns and living life online, many younger hires have been struggling with face-to-face basics. Our Itai Hodge shows us how some Bay Area companies are trying to fix this.
Hello, my name is Cindy Seed.
For years, etiquette coach Cindy Seed trained power players on the art of the business lunch.
Welcome.
But these days, many of those same companies are bringing her back
Take a seat, everybody.
to teach their Gen Z hires
Don't be putting your rear end too far back.
the fundamentals of professional behavior.
Nowadays, kids are provided with almost anything that they want. As a result, there's less struggle. You must wait.
Tonight, she's serving up those lessons at Palm House, a popular restaurant in San Francisco where for once the main course isn't chicken or fish,
And bring it back
but good manners.
down, across the top, lift up, and eat from the side of the spoon.
From how to eat your soup without spilling,
If I do it low,
to breaking bread without leaving a trail of crumbs.
there you go.
It may sound like small potatoes, but according to Katie Yip, a 23-year-old cybersecurity analyst, her generation has spent much of their adolescence in lockdown, missing out on everyday life lessons.
People really expect you to know things, or they're annoyed when you don't know things that you've never actually been taught.
And it's not just about what to order at lunch. Some show up to work in sweats, others skip deodorant, and more than a few have texted in sick with nothing but a skull emoji. A recent survey found that 26% of Gen Zers brought their parents to a job interview. Some even let them answer questions.
Some people might look at this and say, why do we need to teach people to take showers every day?
Because no one else did.
David Rice from People Managing People, a leading platform for HR professionals, says while there's been friction between Gen Z and the traditional workplace, there's also a lot to admire.
They believe in work-life boundaries. They believe in having, a certain level of reward for their work. And they're only going to give you what you reward them for. And I do respect them for that.
Because knowing how to use a fork or spoon isn't just for dinner parties. It's about setting the table for career success.
Well, Gen Z generally refers to people born between 1997 and 2012, though some definitions stretch a few years in either direction. Coming up here on the afternoon edition, the Valkyries have to make some tough choices ahead of the trade deadline tomorrow. What we can look out for after the break. Well, the Valkyries taking on Asia Wilson and the Las Vegas Aces tonight, but a pending trade deadline could shift how the team looks going forward. The WNBA's trade deadline is tomorrow, and head coach Natalie Nakasi has been playing with lineups as the team deals with several injuries. If the team wins tonight, they could roll with what they've got and continue their push for the playoffs, but if they lose, it's going to be more pressure to make changes, and the Valkyries have some cap space to work with. So we'll see. You can watch the Valks take on the Aces tonight on Pix Plus 44, Cable 12. Our coverage starts at 6:30. And on Saturday, catch the WNBA doubleheader on Pix Plus. First, the Valkyries taking on the Los Angeles Sparks. Then the Chicago Sky facing the Indiana Fever. They've won 5 straight games without their injured Caitlin Clark. Our coverage starts at 5 p.m. Saturday. That is it for the afternoon edition. Remember, we are streaming 24/7 on the free CBS News app. Just go to Live and then choose Bay Area. Meantime, have a great Wednesday afternoon.